naka def
yow foo joxee
mbaa def la suma tool balaa wari woon
man de man faa tëhi man
yaa ngi toog di daa dégg son
man faa tëhi di man suma tool bi fa booy baaxatul
xanaa doo dee use engrais fertilizer
man loolu yow wuti ko foofu faa tëhi dem ca dépôt ba dafa wuti fa sori
gis nga mbayum léegi boo amul fertilizer du baax de engrais kenn jëndeetu ko ci def
boo ko jëlee ci dépôt foo koy amee
kay yaa ngi doog a ñëw xam nga Reliance banque bi ñuy wax Reliance
faa koy dégg waaw
kay gis nga boo demee Reliance ci boppam foofu ngay fayee saako yi nga bëgg nu mu toll nga fay ba pare ñu jox la sa receipt gis nga receipt boobu ñu lay jox moom ngay yóbbu nag ca dépôt ba
kon fu ne ko dem ci dépôt ba te yóbbu la kay doo ko am
déedéet
fu ne su ma jógoon su ma xaalis ba dem ci dépôt ba du ma am
déedéet doo am foog nga dem Reliance fay ba pare
waaw
soo ko dem nag ak sa receipt ca dépôt ba waa Gambia Granite Corporation lii la ñu wax
yow fi ne fa nga jëm ni la
waaw fa laay dem bi
kon kay ni jàmm jox la nga jëndaaleel ma ay yow ma de fi di saako doon yàgg te duma ko xam
maa la ko wax de
boo àggee jëndaaleel ma
mbokk yi nii lañ ko bëggee waa Gambia Granite Corporation ñu ne saako engrais $700 dong lay jar muy $200 rek yomb na lool daw leen Reliance bu leen gën a jege si PMS tam dañuy jaay comme ni ko Reliance di jaayee boo fa demee dinañ la jaay te engrais bii pour réew mi kese la bëgguñ mu génn réew mi.
Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulaling. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gash, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gash Group also provides the best security company, Gash Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gash Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gash on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gash Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.gashglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash.
It's a warm welcome to our studios in Serekunda. This is Star TV News with me, Sarah Camara. In the headlines tonight, the stability of the country lies in the hands of journalists, says outgoing Attorney General and Minister of Justice. APRC not surprised as Justice Minister resigns. Lawyer Usainu Dabo visits Jike Farm in Tubakuta. On the international scene, South Africa eases lockdown to revive the economy. France ex-Prime Minister Fillon awaits verdict over corruption case. Gunmen attack Karachi Stock Exchange building in Pakistan. Those were the headlines, and now the news in details. Announcing his resignation as Attorney General and Minister of Justice in a press briefing at his office in Banjul, Batambedu implored on the media to be mindful of the critical role they play in Gambia's fragile democracy. He told journalists that the stability of the country lies in their hands. Dado Cham was there, and she now reports.
The outgoing Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Batambedu, outlined that everyone has a role to play, especially the media.
And we all have a role to play in this, but especially the media. The biggest threat to our peace and fledgling democracy is misinformation. I implore the media to be mindful of your critical role in a fragile democracy such as ours. Do not turn your supporters in government against you by your own actions. Do not, under the guise of freedom of expression, ruin the lives and reputations of others simply because you can. In small communities like ours in this country, the consequences of publishing false information can be devastating.
According to the outgoing Chief Justice, the people that the media writes about have families too. Their kids go to school with other kids, and their spouses interact with others at work and other public places. He, however, calls on the media to expose corruptions and corrupt practices in the government.
It will only enhance your credibility. Do not allow those with a partisan, political, or narrow personal agenda to use you to smear others, because when you do, you will also discourage honest and hard-working Gambians from accepting to serve in public office, and consequently deprive this country of the best human resource talent that we need to develop our country. Government, in my view, is a microcosm of society, and I believe that there are more honest people in society than we care to acknowledge. Notwithstanding, it is refreshing to see a vibrant media and an active press corps in the country nowadays. And I, in particular, wish to take this opportunity to say, well done.
Batambedu told the press that he had since 1st June 2020 submitted his resignation as Attorney General and Minister of Justice to His Excellency President Adama Barrow, and his resignation would take effect from 30th June 2020. Even whereas he did not forward reasons that lead to his resignation, many strongly believe that Batambedu has banked international appointment with the United Nations. Meanwhile, the Office of the President on Thursday informed the general public that Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice of the Republic of the Gambia, Mr. Abubakar M. Tambedu, has submitted his resignation as Attorney General and Minister of Justice to His Excellency President Adama Barrow, and His Excellency President Adama Barrow had accepted it with effect from 30th June 2020, replacing him with Mr. Dauda A. Jallo with effect from 1st July 2020. Reporting for Star TV News, I am Dado Chan.
Duduja, the assistant spokesperson of the former ruling party, APRC, said they are not surprised with the recent resignation of Justice Minister Abubakar Tambedu from his post as Attorney General and Chief Justice of the Gambia, but rather it came too soon. Zaglin Colley interviewed him, and she now reports.
Recently, the APRC party asked the outgoing minister to resign from his post as Justice Minister and Attorney General with reasons best known to them. The party's assistant spokesperson, Mr. Ja, said they were expecting such, but not sooner.
We saw it coming, but never expected it would be that soon. The reason for that being, he was called to the parliament for questioning. And I believe that process having been done, there are a lot of issues that need clarification. So his resignation came at a time whereby he should have clarified those issues, to clear his name, to clear his ministry before he should have resigned. But we knew the damage is beyond repair. There's nothing that Tambedu and his ministry can do to repair that damage. What I mean by the damage, a lot of issues that happened from the Janney Commission during the Commission's inquiry. Assets were sold. After the Commission concluded their report and recommendation, they continue to sell assets without the authority of the appeal court or the Supreme Court. So, and we've been voicing it out in several platforms that it was illegal and not according to law. But it's like he gave a deaf ear to whatever we were calling for. He continued to personalize issues, using sentiments and emotions and doing whatever he pleased. So we knew in the long run he was going to fall in hot soup, and that's what happened.
Just stressed that Batambedu has created a lot of damages in his ministry, which includes the case of Alaji Kani and Yankuba Toure's ongoing case for the murder of the late Koro Sise and the selling of Jammeh's assets.
Even if you look at the judiciary itself, first when Kani said that he was told by Fatimata Jahumpa Sise and Yankuba Toure not to go to the PRRC. This was an issue that definitely, whether I would say it angered them, they have to take them to court. Later they have to withdraw because they lost that case. looking the issue of Yankuba Ture likewise. Hearing him, Batambedu, said he's going to teach him a lesson, which we felt definitely he should not have uttered that. He also said he will throw the books at him. And he justified the mob justice that happened when Yankuba refused to testify at the TRRC, saying that that's what it leads to if you try to defy the law. And knowing the case still going on about Yankuba Ture, that they cannot prove in any way that he killed Korosise, he's also going to go free. So Batambedu has never won any case as far as the state's cases are concerned, which also shows he's either ignoring what the law says, or he's just using his powers to do whatever he pleases. All these are part of the damage that Batambedu has created.
He stressed that on the sales of Jammeh's assets, it was concluded that whosoever was going to sell the assets was to be awarded 3% of the sales, which to their notice was increased to 10%. To him, Batambedu needs to clarify that issue too.
And again, on top of that, we came to find out the Janneh Commission, the percentage that was put forward for those whoever will be selling the assets was 3%. And what took it to 10%, Batambedu needs to explain that, which means 7% has to be followed that they have to give back. And that is different from other benefits they had, because what was sold, to whom was sold, who bought them, for how much was it sold for, all these things are issues that Gambians don't know and we can tell. So definitely there are a lot of chaos that they created.
Meanwhile, the outgoing Attorney General and Justice Minister Abubakar Tambidu on Friday advised the supporters of Yahya Jammeh to wake up from their dreams and move on, saying the former president will surely have his day in court one day. The minister tendered his resignation and is set to leave office on personal reasons at the end of the month. It has been reported that he has been appointed to work at the UN. Jacqueline Colley reporting for Star TV News.
Lawyer Usainu Dabo, the party leader and Secretary General of the UDP, over the weekend visited GK Farms to witness the first harvest of papayas at the farm. GK Farm, owned by a young Gambian residing in America, expects to expand into large-scale farming in order to reduce the importation of crops and create job opportunities for Gambian youths. Omar Joe was with them and he now reports.
Given his remark, Mr. Usainu Dabo stated that the government shall support such motives, and he opines that such were created and failed, but he is not hoping to see GK Farm to fall into such.
I saw this, I remembered Nyana Bere.
Yes.
Nyana Bere,
yes.
In
NYSS.
That's right, in Kembuje, in Serakunda Nding.
Yeah.
Pasanjali.
That's the
NSS
farm.
That's right, the
Yes.
NSS farm.
Yeah.
Pasanjali owned that farm. There was a time I had about 2 hours work with him in that farm. But it failed. Why has it failed? Because of lack of government support.
Yeah.
Agriculture is not like the textile business. You bring it, sell quickly, and agriculture, as you said, is capital intensive business.
Yeah.
And they need really absolute government support in order to sustain the industry. Pasanjali's Nyana Bere has failed because, in my view, because of default of government. It could be a success story that should be emulated by farmers throughout the Gambia. But then I'm sure you will not go down that lane of the history. Failure will not be one that you will be failing. You are going to face success upon success.
Mr. Dabo noted that Gambian in diaspora must be encouraged to invest in their country in order to form a developing economy, and urges people to emulate Mr. Jawara, as investment in the country will give other people chance to earn their living.
How do you encourage the Gambian diaspora to come back to their country and get involved in shaping the economy of this country, taking charge of the economy of this country? Mr. Jawara and Mr. Ture, they could just have put their money, in an interest-bearing account, and at the end of term, for they have invested their money, they're going to withdraw their interest and let the capital continue. But that will just benefit them alone. It's not going to produce communal benefit. And this is producing communal benefit. Those women who are here, working with you here, they are benefiting from it. These gentlemen, young men, they are benefiting from it. So their investment is really going beyond themselves. It's not a question, as you said, it's not a question of trying to make a million overnight. It's a question of affording opportunity to other Gambians to also improve on their quality of life.
He further stated that government shall make it a policy to finance agricultural activities without any charges laid on the farmers in return.
I think the government should really make it a policy. The commercial banks that are now existing, that they should finance agricultural activities and not charge the commercial rate of interest.
Yes.
I think that should be. I think that should be a policy now before you even set up an agricultural development bank, so that people in this type of venture, like your venture also in Keneba for rice production, and others. I see Maruo also in Fuladu, also, so that they can have financing to carry on their activities. Because this is the only way that we can show that we are serious about agriculture. This is the only way that we can show the whole world that really agriculture has a vital role to play in the economic development of this country. And when the economy of this country is developed, we have improvement in all other sectors.
Mr. Modu SCC, National Assembly member for Janjambure, commented the effort put on the farm and noted that they will put it to the Minister of Agriculture so she can also see the farm, as it is very important to have such in the country.
She had been in agriculture all her life, a horticulturist by training, right? She needs to come here and see what is happening here. I have said it in the National Assembly numerous times. There was also a gentleman who had this poultry, a young man that less than 35 years who has employed more than 37 youths working for him. These are the type of people that need to be created. These are people, as the Honorable says, that needs to be made millionaires because they are investing the little they have. And I'm very happy to see something like this. And from now on, probably if they have not, the matter has not reached Minister of Agriculture, we'll make it a point of duty to tell them that they should come here because this is for the Gambia. It's not part of politics. It's not part of anything. But it's for Gambia because if these fruits are taken to the market, supporters of every party would buy from it.
Definitely.
All right.
Yes.
Mr. Odu Makpa is the farm manager. He lamented on the spices available in the farm and their advantages, which include papaya, pineapple, plantain, among others.
But even for us, for our own health, because when you eat organic, you live organic. But when you eat chemical, you know, you are shorting. So because of that, we are trying to also encourage our farmers. Simple means, simple methods on how to fertilize organically, how to treat organically. You see the papaya leaf is also an organic pesticide. There's a way we produce, we fabricate it, and we'll be able to have, the liquids. All you need to do, blend it, mix it with some, little pepper and something. Then there's this thing we call EMAS. EMAS is Effective Microorganism Activation System. It's an organic substance because it comes from 3 components. Let me not go too technical now. So it's what we use in our treatment. So, and you can see in between the papaya, we have chili pepper. This variety of chili pepper, we call it Demon. And this chili pepper you are seeing, we keep harvesting and harvesting and harvesting. Now it's already going now. You can see his time is going. But if we want it to come up again, we just prune it. It comes up again. But the reason why we have chili pepper as intercropping is because we want a situation whereby before the papaya will start fruiting, before you start benefiting from the papaya, you are already harvesting something. Instead of this spacing that we have, lying fallow, we make use of it. Because why? Each space is very important in agriculture. No space is useless. So use the optimal use of optimal use of what you have, and you get the result that you want. So even ahead, we are introducing watermelon. We have watermelon down, papaya, pineapple, and also what do you call that? Plantain.
Plantain.
You know, plantain is not common here.
Okay.
And also what pineapple is not common here. So we got some pineapple from Benin Republic, and also papaya. Plantain from Benin Republic.
Agriculture forms a huge percentage in any developed country. GK is a Sarhule word, which means hope. GK Farm started operating about 7 months ago and has employed 4 youths and are hoping to increase the number of employees in the country. For Star TV, I am Omar Joe.
Mbedo ko walande bar fenkil nañ jaxal jang nga fem fi jabu ka bete nga fem fi jabu ka bete nga fem fi yang ko jaxal dafa malo mekel nyaati le
ne jambando soto angare nying ne o soto yake jang ila soto fengo fam be yiru wala
je jambando ha wato alhamdulillah sa jambando mo so la nyaadi le
sani moli abula le kata fan kata depo nyinto hani ni futata je depo to sani buka wafi de ka kodo ta mo bulu ka boto dila wo bo sani wo botale sani mimbe kering wolem nyinto ko reliance ibita wolto ye kodo jo ne kodo jo reliance e ka risitol dia ba risito nyi ngaku matal de wo risito nyi ni adila e ka wole samba depo nyinto ne risito di yela jambando soto
ko mi ngi yekuma fu nyami ngamoyle nim fana bodo jang ko tanke mbira jambando sanna
GGC wolem Gambia Groundnut Corporation wolle be mararen nyin jambando la kola ando ila nyin jang ngalo ne nyin jambando ni yake jang ifam ba fola nyela
tumondo bar be jambando xel fana nga jibe nim bodo ya mbita wolto mbita sekro direct nim tara je rek be jambando sanna oto mbaɗigol ñewode ñul natal kana mol dahandi GGC ka jambando data la mole fadala se ceme worwula he ñomo alten du balde mbatu woto nimboru bayta ngata na jambando la ko do jo woto jang san sa mbe wutule ngata fo reliance nganna jambando la ko do joje to ngana risito ta ngata depo wala ngaji be CPMS katu ñindu la fulol de min suriyata na rek nin tara nga joje benna jambando sotlal al nimbara bak ala baraka. Hey, alhamdulillah. Nyomo alatan dubal. Moro nyina metu abena no sana.
And now, news beyond our borders. South Africa has eased lockdown restrictions to restart businesses and revive its economy. The tourism sector is among the worst affected. While the tourist season only kicks off in September, few travelers are expected as the country grapples with the highest number of coronavirus cases in Africa. Al Jazeera's Famida Miller reports from Sky Resort, the only ski resort in the country.
More than 2,700 meters above sea level, this is the highest resort in South Africa. It's also the only ski resort in the country and one of 3 in Africa. But with no leisure travel allowed, the COVID-19 lockdown has brought Tiffindale and South Africa's tourism industry to a standstill. The resort hires about 120 people during the 3-month-long ski season.
We've got new challenges with these cold fronts coming through now because we normally were full, everything is warmed up, and now we're not. So I'm just trying to protect what we've got and make sure that we can run a season if they open the borders now.
Tsotani Dwile is a ski instructor who also teaches in the resort's training program for the underprivileged. It too has been cancelled.
Now that the winter season is closed due to lockdown, it's very, very difficult for me because I don't work, I don't have income, so I just sit at home.
The resort usually hosts at least one international ski competition every year. But it's likely this season will be lost, and surrounding tourist attractions are also empty.
This is the coldest weather this area's had in 7 years. Conditions are perfect for winter sport, making it all the more difficult for people here to bear. Had it not been for coronavirus, this resort would have 3,500 people pass through during the peak of the winter tourism season.
Instead of being on the slopes, 17-year-old Thabo Rateleke is spending his free time trying to keep fit. Earlier this year, he competed in the Youth Olympic Games in Switzerland. He was one of only 2 competitors from Africa. He had hoped to train during the winter at his home in the Eastern Cape.
I feel very sad because I was really looking forward to be skiing this year and trying my best to qualify for the 2022 Winter Olympics in China. I couldn't wait, but the corona came, so it destroyed everything.
While Thabo's plans have been put on hold, the tourism industry in South Africa waits for word on when it can reopen. The government says the bulk of applications for unemployment grants has come from this sector, and up to 600,000 people in the industry could lose their jobs if it's not fully operational by September. But for now, the ski resort stays empty. Famida Miller, Al Jazeera, Eastern Cape.
A verdict is expected in the corruption trial of former French Prime Minister François Fillon. He faces up to 5 years in jail, but said the scandal is a political smear campaign. Al Jazeera's Natasha Bodler reports from Paris.
A scandal that changed the course of the 2017 French presidential election. A French newspaper alleged that Conservative candidate and former Prime Minister François Fillon had misused taxpayers' money when he was an MP to pay his wife Penelope as a parliamentary assistant for years for no work. The couple were placed under formal investigation. Fillon denied the accusations and said he was the victim of a political smear campaign.
36 years of political life, 36 years without any judicial problems. Today I am the target of a ruthless, one-sided attack, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, for old legal facts. Is this fair?
Public pressure mounted on Fillon to step down. He refused, but the damage was done. He failed to make it past the first round of the election, losing out to the far-right's Marine Le Pen and centrist Emmanuel Macron, who went on to win. His political career over, Fillon was rarely seen in public until February this year, when he and his wife went on trial in Paris. France has a history of corruption and nepotism in politics. Some say Fillon is a symbol of both, but others say that the fraud inquiry against him was unfair, politically motivated and timed to end his presidential campaign. A theory that gained strength last week after President Macron ordered an investigation into new claims that prosecutors were pressured in 2017 to move unusually fast against Fillon, his main rival in the election race. Macron passed an anti-corruption law targeted at cleaning up politics soon after his election. But this magistrate says if the president is serious about the independence of the judiciary, he must reform the system.
The judiciary's independence has always been questioned because it's the executive that appoints state magistrates. The law dictates that magistrates are under the authority of the Justice Ministry, so as long as we stay with this system, people will doubt the impartiality of magistrates.
If found guilty of misusing public money, Fillon could face up to 5 years in jail. His wife a 3-year suspended prison term for complicity. For one of France's best-known politicians who'd come so close to being president, it's been a spectacular fall from grace. Natasha Butler, Al Jazeera, Paris.
Gunmen attacked the Pakistan Stock Exchange building in the city of Karachi over an hour ago. A grenade was thrown as the men entered the compound. Security forces were quickly on the scene, and police say the attack is now over. Several people have been killed, including 4 of the assailants, an official said. Al Jazeera's Kamal Haider joins us live from the capital, Islamabad.
So we begin with breaking news out of Pakistan and an attack on the stock exchange in Karachi. Gunmen tried to storm the building just over an hour ago. A grenade was thrown as the men entered the compound. Security forces were quickly on the scene and police say the attack is over. Several people have been killed. Let's get the latest from Kamal Haider, our correspondent in Islamabad. What more details can you tell us about this attack, Kamal?
What we know so far, 4 attackers stormed the Karachi Stock Exchange building. This has a very large security fencing around the perimeter. They lobbed a grenade and tried to enter the compound. However, There was stiff resistance from the guards at the Karachi Stock Exchange, and during that time, the law enforcement agencies also were able to deploy to the area. A gunfight ensued in which all 4 attackers were killed, 1 policeman also killed, and 4 of the guards who resisted that attack killed. It is interesting to note that I've spoken to somebody in the stock exchange who told me that while the attack was still underway, business was as usual, as per normal, continued inside, the trading continued, and after the attack, also the stock markets, in fact, showing a bit of a high as well. So indeed, a message that the work cannot be disrupted here, despite the fact that this could have been a very serious attack, given the fact that a large number of grenades, ammunition, assault rifles have been recovered from those that were killed in the attack today.
So the situation under control now, Kamal. Who could be behind this attack? There's been no claim of responsibility yet, but who would want to target this institution and why?
And before we end the news, a recap of our main headlines. Announcing his resignation as Attorney General and Minister of Justice in a press briefing at his office in Banjul, Tambiru implored on the media to be mindful of the critical role they play in Gambia's fragile democracy. Dudu Jah, the assistant spokesperson of the former ruling party APRC, says they are not surprised with the recent resignation of Justice Minister Abubakar Tambiru from his post as Attorney General and Minister of Justice of the Gambia, but rather it came too soon. Lawyer Usainu Dabo, the party leader and Secretary General of the UDP, over the weekend visited Juke Farms to witness the first harvest of papayas at the farm. On the international scene, South Africa has eased lockdown restrictions to restart businesses and revive its economy. The tourism sector is among the worst affected. A verdict is expected in the corruption trial of former French Prime Minister François Fillon. Gunmen attacked the Pakistan Stock Exchange building in the city of Karachi over an hour ago. A grenade was thrown as the men entered the compound. That's all for this edition of the news. Do join us tomorrow for more news, and please stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our programs. Thank you.